We're getting a little country this week on What's the Recipe podcast. If you didn't know, Lucas and I both grew up in Orlando, Florida, and it didn't matter if it was a beach day in the summer or driving around town in the winter, we were listening to country music. So country almost feels like nostalgic for Lucas and I. It definitely brings us back to our roots, and this week we got the pleasure to sit down with who I believe to be a country music legend, Mr. Colt Ford. Let me paint you a picture to give you some context for how this interview even transpired. It's summer of 2016. We all know that was the best summer ever. Lucas and I are 18 years old, about to head off to college, and my parents invite us to the Daytona 500 Country Music Fest. Now, my dad is a professional golfer, and what you'll learn more about in this episode is that Colt Ford actually was too. So him and my dad go way back, all the way back to junior golf. And in 2016, after the Country Fest, Colt invites us back to his tour bus and we chatted, we drank Twisted Teas or something like super high school like that. And so when we found out he was coming in town to play a show at Grizzly Rose, we one, knew that we had to go see him in concert, and two, that we had to get him on the podcast. Now, I don't care if you're a fan of country music or not, this episode is so much more than that. Colt Ford is such a dynamic human being, from being a songwriter behind major songs like Dirt Road Anthem, Country Must Be Countrywide, Back, and Mind on You, to being a badass performer, to trailblazing the country rap genre, to just being an incredibly kind, real, funny, creative, and honest person. This was one of my favorite interviews we've ever done. You're going to learn about how he left the golf world in his 30s and became a country music artist, his songwriting process, how he came up with the name Colt Ford, and hear behind the scenes stories of working with legends like Jason Aldean, Brantley Gilbert, Jermain Dupri, and Kevin Gates. What? Wild. Okay, you do not want to miss this episode, so with that, we will see you in the kitchen.
Sweet, and we'll just get right into it. Your big ass cowboy hat. Or cowgirl.
I bought this just for this
hat.
event, by the way. I needed a cowboy hat, cowgirl hat.
Do you go a long time with one hat, or do you got a collection of cowboy hats?
Sometimes I go, this is a brand new hat that
Yeah.
my fiance just got me for Christmas, actually.
I love it.
I hadn't had and got it one, and I was mad at her because she spent too much money on it. I'm like,
How much is too much?
well, I mean, it's like everything else. You can spend as much as little or as much as you want. But for me, with what I do, I'm like, I don't want to spend $600-700 on a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of those?
I beat the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's dirty. I beat it up. I sweat in it every night.
Tell me you have a Kimosabe hat, though. You don't?
What's that?
So Kimosabe, I know it from Aspen. It's like that classic, famous country western store, and they have hats that are amazing that you can like get branded your initials.
Yeah,
I've
they do
got
the-
some stuff like
they
that.
do the
brand
I'm really
and-
more of a kind of just traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
traditional
it's a
cowboy
clean
guy.
hat. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of pretty
fiance.
simple. Yeah.
So, how long have you been engaged?
We've been engaged. We got engaged. Golly, we were supposed to get married October 1st.
Oh.
This past October, and real life just got in our way. I meant we had bought a new house. She had to have some surgery. We had some health stuff with our parents that we had to deal with, and we just like, well, it's not going away. We're not going anywhere. We'll just get to it whenever we can. So we're trying to figure out when we're going to do it now.
Did you guys have anything planned, like a big
Yeah,
wedding?
no, it was actually going to be pretty big, and that was the other thing. It started getting
Big.
overwhelming,
Yeah.
like to the point I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it was stressing her out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was in Nashville, and I'm like, it was just starting to get too much.
Yeah,
And
it really is
was
a stressful
she's like,
time.
Let's just we'll do something different later.
Yeah.
It was just getting too much. And really, big weddings, this is second go round for both of us. So, I mean, we've done it.
This is the first time for us, and we also went to the courthouse.
Yeah.
We
Right,
were like, we're just gonna fucking get the license.
I think that's what we'll end up doing.
a pretty
Pretty intimate, special
something
moment,
like
too.
that. But I have a couple of our kids there that want to be there for sure. Want to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Is she someone that you've known for quite some time, or do you guys just kind of cross
We
cross
met by
paths?
accident. We met by accident, honestly, at a show. I mean, she was there with her friend, and one of my old guitar players at the time was single, and he was chasing it every night. And he's like, man, he goes, come on, go. I need you to wingman me. I'm like, no, man, I'm grown, man. I'm not wingmanning you. And he's like, come on, go ride this Ferris wheel. I'm like, I'm almost 50, bro. I'm not riding no damn Ferris wheel with you. What is wrong with you? It was a big Ferris wheel, and she's like, she's going to go. She didn't have any desire because she had been involved with a musician before.
Okay.
So she's like, I know this type.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
She's
I
smart.
I was not in a place to be anything either. I was trying to get myself together, and so there was no pressure. There was no like, oh, the whole backstage at a concert. It wasn't that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I mean, we were just.
Did you throw her a line though? What's the
No,
line?
did not. No line. Just because we just started talking.
Yeah.
And then we just talked for a while. I was like, wow, this is a cool chick. And so, oddly enough, where we're at tonight, out in front of the Grizzly Rose here in Denver, one of my favorite honky tonks. This was the first time she ever came out on the road with me. Was at Denver, the Grizzly Rose. She couldn't come this week because her daughter Ella has a volleyball tournament.
Oh, we're missing her.
That's so
We're
special,
missing her.
though.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was our first time
I love that.
Can-
on the road together was here.
Sorry.
ahead.
Can you define what a honky tonk is?
No, I guess it's kind of like some of the other stuff. I don't know that I can define it, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
It's like a feeling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant like, yeah, I mean, and there's different sizes and styles, and I just like good, fun honky tonks. I mean, this is Grizzly Rose is legendary, one
I
of the
know.
greatest in the world.
Right, and
It's a lot of fun to
obviously, so for the audience, we are sitting in your tour bus
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
This is a pretty badass scene outside of Grizzly Rose.
Right?
And we really want to thank you for letting us be here and talk to you.
Hey, her dad. We've been friends for 30 plus years.
Shout out to Pops for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
What makes Grizzly Rose so special? Like, why is this one of your favorites?
Just the way they run it. I mean, you'll see clubs that'll change owners and change. I mean, the way they've always ran it here. There's certain places in the country that are just like, oh, it's always good. They run it correctly. People coming in and have a good time. They don't allow a lot of bullshit going on. Not a lot of crazy fighting and stuff. They really monitor it good so people can come and have fun and have a good time. I mean, that's what you're there for.
100%.
I mean, and so it's just one of those places. It's just kind of iconic in the world of, and it's a big. I mean, this is a big club. I mean,
Yeah, it's
a big
huge.
honky tonk, so it's a lot of fun. I'll tell you a funny story. First time I played here, obviously I've known y'all for a while. Your dad and I've been friends before you was born. But I used to be a big guy. I mean, like 340.
About 4 times the size of what you are now.
I was, 46 pants and 340, and now I'm 34 pants, and it's been fun. But the first time I played here, I was huge. I was big guy, and I wasn't thinking about the elevation change and all that stuff. So I'm fired up. It's packed, and I'm super fired up. My first time here, Grizzly Rose, and it's so many people here. And like the third song, we have mics that we can talk to each other in our ears. I'm like, I think I'm having a fucking heart attack. What's going on?
Shit.
My guitar player at the time was like, dude, the elevation, calm down. You're just running around and jumping like crap. I was just so hyped up. But like 3 songs in, I'm like, that's it. I'm gonna die right here. I thought I was a goner for sure.
He's like, you just need electrolytes.
Yeah, he's like,
Relax.
calm down.
Oh
I was
my
like,
gosh.
oh, okay, I'm excited.
That's insane. So we obviously want to get to like what is the recipe to Colt Ford, but I think I want to start with how did you cook up the name Colt Ford?
That came from my ex-wife, actually. Yeah.
So-
she
The
goes,
wives always have the best ideas. I'm just gonna say
listen,
it.
hey, we had great 25 plus years together, and mother
That's a
my
success.
kid. Yeah, absolutely. And she just said it. She was like, "What about Colt Ford?" And I was like, and I called my partner in our record label, and he's like, "It's the greatest name ever." And so
It's a badass name.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you name your kid that, you're really setting him on a path where he's either going to be a badass or probably
Right.
lock himself in a room and not talk to anybody.
Right.
Yeah, there's
So
not a lot of gray area there.
in this process of creating Colt Ford, right? I'm assuming, how old were you at the time?
And that's the other thing. Like, I could never. I was making music when your dad and I were playing junior golf together. I made a record in 1983, and you're like, "What's 1983?"
Like doing the math.
But like, I just could never cut music off, and so everything about me doing this was insane. Like, you're crazy. It's cool, this music you're creating, but like. You're 35 years old, 36 years old. You're fat. You're overweight. I mean, I'm really good looking, so that helps.
Always have been, baby.
Yeah, no. I mean, so that helps. But like, they're like, you're crazy. Plus, you're doing something that's very different. We really hadn't heard the sound before, but everybody that heard it was like, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
I
Everyone
just
loves
don't
it.
know. The record label's like, we don't know what to do with this. So
Right.
that's kind of what led us to starting our own label, and we've, I would say, probably been the most successful independent label of all time in Nashville.
And the process of like, okay, I am going to go buy Colt Ford.
Yeah.
That's you telling yourself, I'm fucking taking this shit seriously.
Yeah,
I'm diving in.
It was kind of crazy at the time to go. I'd played on the tour for 10 years, played professional golf, didn't know, had some injuries, didn't know what to do, didn't have any status, so I wasn't sure what to. I'd hold my whole life. You ask anybody I grew up with, they were like, "What are you going to do?" And I was like, "I'll play professional golf and make music." And
So it was always both of them.
My entire life, and everybody's like, "Yeah, right."
How did you get into music? Was it like maybe your dad or a friend?
Nobody in my family did music. People
Oh,
ask me that all the
shit.
time. And they're like, "How'd you get into music?" And I say, "I don't know. Music got into me. It
Mm.
was never me seeking it out. It just was something that I did. I don't really even know why. I just love and creating the songs, right? And when I'm on stage, you're like, he's in his happy place,
Right?
Like it's fun.
What was that moment where you were like, I can't just be on the tour. I need to take this music thing seriously?
Well, you grew up in that environment. It's tough, and when your dad and I, especially when your dad and I were playing, Tiger had obviously your dad went on to play and have one of the greatest things of all time at the Augusta with Tiger, but the money wasn't the same out there when your dad and I first started playing. So like playing mini tours and stuff, when it was the Hogan tour and stuff, like if you broke even, you played your ass off,
Right.
Like for real. Like if you broke even, like there wasn't, Tiger comes along and all of a sudden purses increase 100%, but it wasn't there then, and so I didn't. It's tough, and it's tough when I had 2 kids at home, and it's like, what are you going to do? You got to pay the bills.
So you take another huge risk with
So in between that, my dad's just a little old used car dealer. I've sold some cars and, farted around doing stuff like that, but it's like, that's just not who I was. So then I was like, well, all I've known is golf. So I'd been lucky to spend a lot of time around some of the best teachers in the world, and I always enjoyed teaching. And so I started teaching and became a club pro and teaching, and was teaching some tour pros and some really good players, and I just couldn't make music go away though. I just could not make music go away, and I just kept fooling with it, and all of a sudden this opportunity came, and it's like, well, what do we do with this? And my best friend Shannon, who's produced and sold 40 million records, he's produced Usher and TLC and all kinds of stuff. He's like, this is incredible. I don't know. I'm not even sure what it is though. Like, I'm not sure what we do. And
what that thing is your style.
My style, yeah. What
your
I
style.
was doing.
Mixing R&B and rap with country.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is, but these kind of records have been made. They just didn't call it rap. What do you think The Devil Went Down to Georgia is?
Right. Yeah, that's a really good
Devil went down
point.
to Georgia, look for a soul to steal. In a bind, way behind, willing to make a deal. It's just
that's
words
not singing.
together
That's
that
not
rhymes.
right.
Yeah, recitation records have been around. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Hot Rod Lincoln, songs before I was even born. So I was always confused by why they thought it was so different. But I get it. It was, and I didn't look like what was coming out of Nashville and the whole.
Did that make it difficult?
Oh yeah.
Really?
It made it really hard.
So I want to go back when you're like, because you were saying you were on the tour, then you became a pro. You were teaching some pros. Yeah. What's like the first step that you take where you're like, okay, because are you making music like at your house? How are you
still
getting
fooling
connected?
around. I'm still writing songs, making music. And honestly, like I made a lot more like rappy like records, but that wasn't really who I was. I grew up a good country kid.
Did you grow up listening to the rap music at all?
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, I was obsessed with it. But but I'm saying like that was not truly my reality. But and my ex was like, why don't you do something country? And I just didn't know how that would sound. And so the first thing I did was a song for the PBR, the Professional Bull Riders. And I sent the song, I did it just so she'd stop bothering me. And I sent it to the CEO of the PBR, who I knew, Randy Bernard, who now manages Garth Brooks. And he's like, this song is incredible. I took all their sponsors and put it in the song.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, this is incredible.
Because it's like a song that could start every single.
He's like, we want to use this. We want this to be our theme song. We want to debut it at
That's
Madison
brilliant
Square
idea.
Garden in 2008. first time the PBR's ever been there. And I'm like, awesome. He's like, how do we get this song? I was like, well, you can have it. He's like, well, where did you get it from? I was like, I did it. And he's like, 2 seconds, my phone's ringing. He's like, what in the hell are you talking about? He's like, this is you? I was like, yeah, that's me. I do music too. He's like, I thought you played golf, because I had entertained. I had done some entertaining for some of their, with Randy and some of their big corporate sponsors. Like, I'd go play golf with them at an event and bullshit with them, and I love that kind of stuff.
Right.
And he's like, this is insane, and that's kind of where it started.
So that was your first kind of leap of, I'm gonna make this song
and
first.
Oddly enough, so we shot that video. I had Brian Canner, JB Mooney, and Sean Willingham, who were all professional bull riders. At the time, JB had just got in the PBR. I think he was 18 years old. And right now, he just retired, and I think JB is widely considered the greatest bull rider of all time.
Right.
And he was in that video with me when he's 18 years old.
It sounds like a lot of how you kind of got into music too, in terms of like the opportunities and becoming who you are now, is also from like the connections you made through golf too.
No question. And I got away from golf for a little bit, and it was funny because some of the guys that I grew up with, your dad, like guys that your dad and I grew up playing with, Jim Furyk and Phil Mickelson, guys that were great friends I've known my whole life. They didn't, because of the name change, they didn't put it together.
Oh,
and plus,
God.
at
So
that
interesting.
time, I'm playing music now, and I'm 300 pounds of the cowboy. I don't look anything like Jason Brown, the guy that they grew up playing golf with. And I remember playing Hootie and the Blow at the Monday after the Masters. And so I go to play Darius, but I had played that as a professional golfer as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting, and Jim was there, Furyk was there, and he's like, holy shit, what are you doing here? And we start talking. I go, well, I'm playing it as a, he's like, well, you're not playing golf anymore, are you? I was like, no, I'm playing music. My name's He's like, what? He goes, I just bought like 3 of your records. I was like, yeah, that's me. He's like, no way.
That is too funny.
Yeah, so it was fun to, and I even have guys like Dickie Pride. Dickie one time was like, I saw you somewhere, I was calling your name, and you're so big time you ignored me. I said, no, if you were saying Jason,
right,
I wasn't there in Jason capacity. I was there in Colt Ford. So you saying Jason, like, I don't hear that. And I'm not thinking people call me.
Right.
You're living the dream, though, because anytime I ever ask my dad, like, what would you be doing if you weren't a professional golfer? Like, what's your dream? He's like, I'd be on stage. I'd be a rock star.
He had the rock star hair back in the day.
Oh, the mullet.
Yeah, I kind of got it going, too. And I got the blonde that he's got. But, it's just been a crazy ride, like, and it's been fun to, golf has always been such a big part of my life, and being, playing college, being All-American. I've won probably 20 professional golf tournaments around the world, and odd enough, so during the pandemic, I'd always played, and I could always still play really good at times, but I didn't get to practice, so it just wasn't like that. I mean, I might have a month where I get to play a fair amount, and then I might go 2 months and not get to play at all. Well, you were raised in this. The golf doesn't work that way.
No.
You have to work at it.
Every day.
I mean, it's just, I hadn't shot a basketball, and I couldn't tell you when, but if you give me an hour, I can shoot 90% from the foul line in 1 hour.
Right.
Golf does not work that way.
No.
And so I would get frustrated too because I wouldn't play in some of the events because I'm like, they know my background and I know what I have been able to do my whole life, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
And that was maddening for me, so I'd stayed away. I mean, I would still come play like your dad's event. And when I played with him at the Champions event in South Dakota, last time I'd seen him, I was big, and I couldn't move. I wasn't flexible, and I wasn't playing much. Like, I was hitting 5-iron from like 170. And I see him there, I'm hitting 5-iron from 215. He's like, what's going on? Like, when I saw him, I was hitting it further than he was.
Yeah.
He was like, what is happening? But all of a sudden, I got to practice.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun. I'm sitting at home in Tulsa. There's nothing to do, and Megan is super supportive. Like, go to the golf, go every day. And so then it started. I was playing a little bit, me and Toby Keith, because he lives in Oklahoma City, Moore, Oklahoma. We'd play, and then it's like, then I started playing a little bit more. Bo Van Pelt lives there in Tulsa. And so then it started going, then I was really like.
Was that during the COVID days?
Yeah.
When there was really not shit to do.
Yeah, not just playing golf. My golf consisted of being on the road, of coming into Denver and having my friend Sandy, who's a member at Castle Pines, and getting a ride out there, going straight to the tee, playing, and coming back here and doing a show and gone.
That's great.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
But I couldn't play at the level I want to play at doing that. So during the pandemic, then it turned into practicing, like playing 18 holes.
I missed this. I remember what this feels like.
Chipping, putting, and all of a sudden it was fun to do that again. And then I got this crazy autoimmune disease, and it's and that has been a life changer for me.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
It's been different.
Yeah, but I feel like I want to go back because I'm so curious. Would you say that your love of music also came from like songwriting?
Maybe. My mom would we would play this little game when I was super little, and she would say a word and I'd have to say a word that rhymed with it. And that's so if anybody wants to blame me for doing rap, it's my mama's fault. Who's from Anderson, South Carolina, didn't know nothing about rap. I mean, rap wasn't even a thing for me growing. I mean, until I was in 8th or 9th grade, it wasn't even around. But I would do that, and she'd say a word, and I'd say something that rhymed with it. And then I had bongos. I could play just about anything on the drums when I was 10, 11 years old.
Wow.
So I just loved the beat, the rhythm.
Right.
And it just evolved. And I've been writing songs since I was 10, 11 years old, or trying to. And, the first number one of the year this year on country radio was one I wrote.
Which one?
Mind on You by George Burge.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just went number one, and that was pretty cool.
And
George played golf at the University of Texas. He actually
That's a
played
small
golf
world.
in Texas.
What does that process look like? Like, did he come out to you and was like, "Hey, Colt, like I need something from you. Like I need a song," or do you write these songs
really good
and do you put them out and do you just give them to your friends?
Well,
or
yeah,
what is that process?
I'm a little bit of a hybrid because I'm an artist and a writer.
Right.
And I don't always write for myself. I just like to write the best song, whatever the best song is. And some guys, guys have different process of writing. Some guys that are just songwriters. I don't know that I could do just that. I might freak out a little bit because I love being on stage.
You love being on stage.
You have
but
the
I
it
do
factor.
love writing, and so they vary. But George is somebody that he's a young guy from Austin. Played golf there at Texas with Johnny Vegas and those guys. He was in a duo called Waterloo Revival, and they broke up. I'd actually done a song with him. And George and I just became really good friends, and I'm almost old enough to be his dad, not quite, but I just kind of mentored him a little bit, and I was like, man, he's so good. And we sit down with a couple of other friends of ours who are huge, Michael Tyler and Jaron Boyer, who both written multiple number ones, and it was the very first time we'd ever written together. I had never written with those guys. I'd written a lot with George. And we were actually trying to write something for what I was going to say about songwriters. A lot of times they'll chase, like they'll know, okay, Luke Bryan's going in to start cutting, and they're looking for songs.
Got it.
So guys will try to think, I'm going to write a Luke Bryan song.
Okay, so that's normally how it works, but that's not how you do it.
I don't really like to do that because I think you pigeonhole yourself, or you can kind of stifle your creativity instead of just going, just write the best song, man. Whatever the best song is. And if it's one that he likes, great. If not, so-and-so might like it. Well, so we were chasing Jason Aldean, what they wanted to, and so when we got done with the song, it happens like this sometimes. Sometimes you get done with a song and you go, oh, this is really good.
This is a hit.
Yeah, man.
This is a number one.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's sometimes when you've been doing it long enough, so you go, I mean, everybody's excited when they first start and they think everything is going to be a hit. And it's like,
yeah, but after thousands of songs,
a hit, but it might be. But it's like,
you just had that feeling.
We got done and like, oh shit, this is a monster song. It just had that.
Whoa.
It had that.
Which one?
It's this Mind on You song.
Got it.
It had this infectious groove to it that, like, I mean, and the way the chorus went and everything, it's like, it's just is hit. And we sent it to Jason. And a lot of times they'll take he immediately put it on hold, like within 24 hours. Like,
and putting it on hold that's Jason Aldean saying,
that's it. Yeah. So we pitch it, and he's like, yes, I want the song. I'm going into cut whenever, but he put it on hold. And then George was just thinking at that time, like, I guess I'll just write and hopefully. And he was already a gifted songwriter. Now you could just see every song he would send me. I'm like, he's getting better and better and better. And all of a sudden, oddly enough, he was goofing around on TikTok. It was new to him because he was just not in his duo anymore. And he said there's this girl on TikTok, a black girl, I can't remember her name, but she was doing something making fun of all these country songs are beer, beer, truck, truck.
I saw that.
So George took that and wrote beer, beer, truck, truck.
It's so smart.
Just goofing around and just put it, and it started going crazy on TikTok. So then he actually recorded it, gave her writing credit on it, which is super cool.
That is super cool.
And then all of a sudden these other labels started going, hey, we got interest in George. It started kind of going crazy. So it was really cool to watch him think they were going to make it with a big record deal with a duo. It didn't happen. Then I guess I'll be a songwriter. Oh, I got a Jason Aldean cut. Oh, and then we asked for this, and he played them that song, just showing them what he'd been working on, and they're like, well, no, we want this song for you. So and Jason, honestly, you don't say you don't have to. There's just kind of unwritten rules of ethics.
Once you have something on hold,
if I give it to him and says on hold, like, that's your song, like, taking it trying to say no at that point is a very much of a dick move.
So how was that conversation?
Not
what was
to
that
mention
conversation
Jason,
like?
I mean, who I wrote his biggest song of all time. So
Dirt Road Anthem?
And he's my buddy.
We need to talk about Dirt Road
He's
Anthem.
my buddy, but it wasn't me making the call. I mean, like, yes, I'm one of the writers, but Joe and Jason was super kind enough to go, yeah, dude, and he gave it back to him.
Wow.
And
I'm sure
now
he
that's
also,
George's first number one. So
I'm sure he also knows what it was like for him being a young buck trying to make it out there.
Absolutely, but at the same time, you go, when you hear a song, this is a hit song.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, In Color by Jamie Johnson is one of my favorite songs of all time. Jamie's one of my closest friends. He didn't have a record deal when he wrote that song. He gave that song to Trace Atkins, and Trace Atkins was a big star at the time. And Trace recorded it. It was going to be Trace's first single off his album. And then Jamie got a record deal and asked him for the song. Now, Trace has already recorded the song at that point.
Right.
Like, Jason hadn't recorded it yet. And Trace was kind enough to give it back to Jamie. Wow. So there's still some good dudes out there.
For sure.
That do. I mean, like I said, he could have gone, man, I really want to cut this song. And all we could have done is gone, cool. And I would have been tickled to death because it's Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
And it'd have probably been a big hit for him, too, because pretty much everything is. But for George, it was something you wrote it with your buddies who believe in you and have believed. It's just special. It really feels special.
There's a different energy around that.
Yeah, no, it really. Totally. And to watch it start growing, and I'm watching it go up the charts, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool for him.
Yeah.
So I was excited for him.
I have so many questions, but specifically for you, I want to get to TikTok because I want to hear your thoughts on TikTok and like how it's kind of changed music in a way.
It drives me crazy.
Those Chinese.
It does, but on the other hand, it gives people opportunities.
No, you don't have to have a record deal to be successful in the music business anymore.
No.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's for that younger generation. We've signed a lot of record deals in Nashville have been signed off what people are doing on TikTok. Mm-hmm. That's great. But I need to know more than just this one moment that you have.
Where's the longevity?
Like, I need to know more of that. Like, somebody going, I shot 65. Well, that's great. Can you shoot 65 tomorrow?
Yeah. Right.
And the following day?
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's what I'm going to need if you want to do it at this level. And so
because they're getting signed on one.
It's been interesting, and it's so fast too. We've had two people that have been on the label that have wanted off before it even got going because they're like, it's not happening fast. They think this. I was like, that's not how it really works. Mm-mm. So it's TikTok's interesting. I hate it and I love it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they want me to be on it more at the label. I'm like, I'm 54, dude. This shit is not made for me.
You would kill it on TikTok.
I do good. I mean, I got
just
almost
get a video of you
followers.
right here behind the strong ales and loose women, and just give us something. Give us a little rap.
My little girl, Skylar Ann, she gets so mad at how many TikTok followers I have because that's all she's trying to do. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm almost at 500,000, I think. So I've been trying to have some fun with it.
That's awesome.
And do some stuff with it. But, like, a lot of the people, they'll be like, so-and-so. I'm like, you realize I play 100-plus shows a year. Mm-hmm. They hadn't played 100 shows in their lifetime.
Right.
All they do is this.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's just not all.
But once you get on stage and the lights are on, can they really keep up?
Yeah, and that's the thing that's that you got to see. how good are you when there's lots of guys that are good enough, but are you good enough when the light turns red?
Yeah.
Are you good enough when you're standing on the first tee and there's Tiger Woods is standing right there?
Yeah.
Do you have that in you? Some people just don't. And I know some guys that are phenomenal songwriters and phenomenal singers that just don't have the on stage. It just doesn't work for them on stage.
Right.
That's a question I'm interested in too. For you, what do you think it takes to be successful in terms of country music or just even music in general? You mentioned obviously you can have the talent, but what else do you need?
There's a lot of luck involved. And people always ask me, I was trying to do music and golf at the same time in college, and they're like, why did you choose, you turn pro in golf and not pursue music? And I was, because it's so much luck involved in music. I knew for a fact, like golf, bottom line, if I'm good enough, nobody can stop me. Nobody can stop me from being successful. I control it. I mean, you can get beat by somebody, but they can't stop you. You guys are old enough, y'all been in bars and stuff and seen somebody and like, oh my God, that's the best singer I've ever heard.
Right.
And you'll go back 2 years from now and they will be right there doing that very thing.
In Nashville, you went to Nashville for the first time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You were like, I've never seen this many insanely talented
musicians. You just walk down
musicians.
Broadway and walk into one bar after
It was
another,
unbelievable.
And you're just like, why aren't they famous?
It was unbelievable.
Why aren't they famous?
I've never
Why isn't she
experienced
famous? I mean, it's so there's a lot of luck. The right person didn't hear you. You were scared to chase it. You couldn't afford to chase the dream.
Or the right person said no.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
and that happens. I mean, right people say no to superstars all the time.
Right.
Jason couldn't get a record. Aldean couldn't get. He was about to go back to Macon, but he had a producer that blew him. Toby, Keith, Tim McGraw. A lot of those people didn't nobody want them, but they wanted it.
Right.
Yeah.
So some people just got it in them.
And I think what's something that's really special about you is obviously your songwriting capability. Like, you're brilliant.
Well,
what
there's a lot of people that argue that, but I mean, I'm super creative. I mean, I'm the one thing I am. I guess I'm probably too dumb to be scared.
right.
That
Like,
was kind of how this whole thing happened for me. People are like, "You're insane." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just dumb enough to not to just go find out."
Well, you
for myself.
persist, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes attrition is a big thing. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like it happens in every sports, music, entertainment. It happens a lot in a lot of things. I mean, it's some people win by attrition. Some people just got that. I'm not leaving. You're not making me quit.
Yeah.
I'm not. You're not running me out of town.
Yeah.
What's your recipe when you're sitting down and you have your notepad? Like, what is your method? What's your recipe? And
For writing, you
Yeah,
mean?
like, are you alone? Are you with people? Like, where?
I write all kinds of ways. I grew up writing songs a lot of different ways. Writing by myself so I can write by myself. I can write with people. I can write with just a guitar or vocal, or I can write to a track, to a beat, because I've written lots of hip hop songs. So it doesn't really matter to me. I can do either way. It just depends on who it is and
is that something that has to be there? Either a guitar riff that kind of like sets the tone, or a beat that sets the tone, and then you kind of fill
I've written
the
songs
space
with no music too.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you think about what Elton John and what they did, I meant, like, one guy's writing lyrics, and I mean, that's not easy to do. You're trying to put a melody to lyrics that you don't know how. You didn't write the lyrics, so you don't have a melody to that.
Right.
Like, that's crazy what him and Bernie did. So that's hard to do sometimes. I'm just not scared to try something.
Right.
A lot of people, and Nashville's the worst to me about going, well, this is how we do it here, and I learned it from Bill, and Bill learned it from John, and John learned it from old Mark, and this is how we do it. And then the kids just go, okay. And it's like, yeah, there's lots of other ways to do it besides that. So I think that's one big thing that helps me is I just go, yeah, man, I don't, if I say whatever it is, I mean, I'm not scared to try something different or a sound and go, it seems like a good idea, and then you start doing it like, terrible idea.
Yeah.
I've had songs I've gone, this is going to be awesome, and I start recording, I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And then Dirt Road Anthem, you want to talk about that? Brantley Gilbert and I wrote that in 30 minutes. We didn't think anybody in the world would care anything about Dirt Road Anthem.
My dad and I, it's our favorite song. We sing it back and forth to each other.
We didn't think anybody would care about that. And literally, we wrote that. I was going to pick him up to go write with a friend of ours.
How did you guys get connected to begin with?
Brantley's from about 30 minutes up the road from Athens in Jefferson, Georgia, and just doing music. We came across each other and his manager, so we were both growing up right there. He's a lot younger than me, but we just met and hit it off and decided we were going to write with an older guy, Mike Deacle, who kind of mentored Brantley and I in our songwriting. He wrote stuff for Kenny Rogers and big hits, but I've known him my whole life. He's a State Farm insurance agent too, and so we were going to meet Mike to write. I picked Brantley up early for lunch. He goes, "I got this idea for something. You working on it?" And we sit down and vibed out Dirt Road Anthem in 30 minutes and left and went to write with Mike and spent 8 hours writing a song that I don't even know what we wrote. I don't remember what that was. And 30-minute song turned into almost 10 million, almost what's called a diamond single, which is 10 million sold.
How does a song like that get into the hands of someone like Jason Aldean?
Well, because you released it.
So it's my song. It's my song. Dirt Road Anthem. And people argue all the time. I'm like, "You're doing Jason Aldean?" I'm like, "I wrote the song."
Yeah, Jason Aldean is doing Colt Ford.
I'd already done probably 250,000 downloads of that song before he ever recorded it. And the song originally is me doing the rap and Brantley singing.
Yep.
And then we have a version where Brantley added another verse. So there's a third verse out there that's hidden out there. That's pretty fun that we do when we do it together.
I need to hear it.
But like it was on my first record, and it was one of those songs that was just like, my first record, it right through the country like blew people's minds. And I say that now, but I don't mean that cocky. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to make the record. I didn't know, but like there's things on that first record that were just like people were just like, oh my God, like. Ride Through the Country, Mr. Good Time, Meet Me at the Waffle House. They just never seen or heard anything like what I was doing. And then of course, Dirt Road Anthem. And it just went absolutely apeshit. And so my agent at the time, my booking agent's time, Kevin Neal, also has booked Jason since the beginning of his career. And so we were all friends, but I was just getting going. And we were playing. I was opening for Jason. This was right when Big Green Track, like when he was about to Hicktown. He was already, but it was like he's about to go from a popular country to a A-list superstar.
Was that the first tour that you'd been on as a country artist?
Yeah, I mean, like first time I got to play those big shows, big arenas, and I remember him walking off stage in Florence, South Carolina, and him going, "That is the craziest thing to hear 10,000 people sing a song that's never been on the radio." Because they don't play me on the radio. I mean, you'll see tonight. I mean, we'll have Damn Near So Like That, and they'll never play me on the radio in Denver.
Why?
It's funny now. Like Jelly Roll says it now too. He's like, Colt opened the door. I was 10 years ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
That's just.
You were trailblazing.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to run through the door first.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just happened to be it. But at the time, country music was in such a different place, and they were like, "You're rap, you can't play." I mean, it's not country, and I'm like, if you come to see my fans and think that they're not country, then you're from a way different part of the country than I am.
Right.
And
but
so
I
it's
think
interesting.
It takes a lot of guts to run through the door first.
It does. I mean, like. Stupidity, guts. Sometimes,
but I guess you don't even really know that you're doing it too, huh?
I didn't know.
Right.
I mean, people like you don't. In the music, I love music. Like I'm obsessed with music. I think about it all the time. All kinds of songs.
Do you listen to a lot of music?
I listen to all kinds of stuff. Yeah. It moves me. I cry listening to music. I'm not like it just moves me that much. Like in my soul when you hear something, I'm like, man, that is something they felt. And you think about. The reason music it transcends politics and religion. It's such a great thing because you guys are still kids. But right now, I could play a song from 10 years ago and you will instantly go back to that moment.
Yeah,
absolutely.
How do you learn as a kid? They don't go A, B, C, D. It's a song.
Yeah.
Everything you learn is kind of that way. And I think that's what makes music so great. Like you'll see people in here from all different walks of life singing the same songs that I wrote. It's crazy.
It's pretty special too that it's what you do.
Yeah,
that's
I mean
it's
unbelievable to have people sing something that you wrote or to meet somebody. I mean, like the stories, or like end of the year last year, one of our last shows, a mother and a girl came to meet and greet. They had a special set up for them. Their son had died in a car wreck. Her son had died in a car wreck. The girl's fiance, and she's still friends with the mom. But she was like, "Your music is what, like, for somebody to say like, he's like obsessed with my music, and he's like, so my music's been a part of happiest times and their absolute saddest times.
Wow.
That's crazy.
that's moving.
That's crazy, really, when you think about that. And to know, and they were there at that show because they were like, when we play your music, we feel like he's still, we feel like he's still around. So that's powerful. I'm at a 16-year-old kid in Live Oak, Florida, at Swanee River Jam, and I was his Make-A-Wish. He didn't have 6 months to go. That's humbling, you know.
That's incredible.
When you're going, you got whatever you want to do, and you want to meet me?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What was that? Tell us about that experience.
I'm an emotional dude, I'll be honest with you.
I love that.
Why they should never let me win an award or anything. They'd be like,
you're not even going to get a word out.
I'd never get to say anything. I'd be crying. But, yeah, I mean, it's what you think it would be.
And that's why you're such a great artist as well.
Emotionally, I'm invested in my fans. Like, I got a lot of artists that are friends, and it's, you know, everybody does it how they want to do it. That's fine. I'm just some guys, they do the thing, they don't really interact. I'm invested in my fans.
Well, you'd be nothing. Yeah, every artist wouldn't.
I don't get artists that have that ego attitude. Don't like them. I don't care if you sold 100 million records. It means nothing to me.
I think that's the fuel that, you know, writes the next album and the album after that. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think it sets it apart. I think you look at it as art.
It is.
Yeah.
And there was a thing came out a long time ago when Luke Bryan had done a song called "Country Girl Shake It For Me."
Love that song.
If you know Luke Bryan, like I do very well, and the guy that wrote that with him, Dallas Davidson, another Georgia guy, that is 100% who they are.
Yeah.
100%. Now, if they sat down and said, we were trying to write "He Stopped Loving Her Today" and we wrote this, I'd go, boy, y'all really missed the mark there, boys.
Right.
But so Zach Brown came out and said it's the worst song he'd ever heard. And I took issue with that. And Zach is my friend too. That bothers me.
Yeah.
First of all, two things. I say, if you're a songwriter and you write something and you let anybody hear it, you got a huge amount of guts in you. That's
the vulnerability that comes with that.
That is a vulnerable, dangerous situation for somebody to be in if they're not really secure with themselves. Because it takes guts to let somebody hear something and give you an opinion on it. Mm-hmm. So for me, I don't ever say that song sucks. I say it ain't what I like.
Yeah.
But that don't mean it sucks. Because I've heard plenty of songs, number one, that I've gone, you gotta be shitting me.
Why is it number one? Yeah.
You gotta be shitting me. Mm-hmm. But there's some people that do like it. So I would never say that about another songwriter. And I just don't think, and on top of that, I would just never say that about another songwriter.
It kills dreams.
Especially, your biggest song is Chicken Fried.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
let's pump the brakes here a little bit. I mean, it's not like that's some kind of.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, this song's friggin' incredible, but it ain't chiseled in stone by Vern Gosler.
Right.
He stopped loving her today or In Color. So let's fucking calm down a little bit.
Were there any impactful moments in your career, in your life, where you were in that moment, in that situation where you're about to show people, you know, something that you wrote and you got really vulnerable with it, but it was something that, you know, made you super proud and the moment?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, anytime I got lots of different artists and other songwriters, so you write something that you automatically, I'm like, like George and I, anytime he'll write something, I promise you by the moment after he's heard it, he'll send it to me and go, hey, I wrote this. What do you think? I mean, like, we do that. So you want to hear, you know, and you want to be around guys or people to be honest enough to go, bro, or that part is not good, or maybe what if you switch this and that? And I can always take that. I can take it. I just can't. And it's a little bit like the news for me today. Like, I don't give a shit if you want to come on here and say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
I just need you to say this is my opinion.
Exactly.
Because the problem is you're coming on here stating it like it's the red words in the Bible. And it's not, because I'll tell some of these people, they'll go, you know, so-and-so and this thing and whatever it is in politics. And I go, listen, I'm just a redneck from Georgia. I don't know. But what I do know is you don't know. So stop.
Right.
I mean, stop with that shit. I mean, that's your opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And
But
there's a difference between stating it with also having room for other people's opinions and also sharing it with love versus like, this fucking sucks.
yeah, I mean, like, and I get that, and so that's the problem that bothers me about the internet and the troll. So, like, if big songwriters want to sit down and tell me, critique me, I listen to that.
Yeah.
If your dad want to sit down and critique my short game, I'll listen to that.
Yeah.
But somebody who doesn't do it and lives in their mom's basement, eats boogers, and thinks wrestling's real, I don't give a shit what you think. I don't care, and it pisses me off that you're even allowed to say it with no ramifications. There's no consequences, and that's a lot of it. That's kind of where we're at in the whole world today.
Yeah.
This younger generation. I mean, y'all don't have kids yet.
We do. We have
do?
two.
Oh, do you? I didn't know.
3 and 1.
Oh Lord, bless your heart.
Yeah. 2 boys. They're insane.
Yeah, that's madness, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy,
wild.
Yeah,
crazy,
My
crazy.
son now at 24. You'll see, and everybody's been told it goes fast, and it all does. You'll see, you go from different parents, and now he's 24, so we're buddies now a little bit, and he'll tell me, I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Stop. He's like, who's 16? I don't want to hear that. Stop telling me that story. That's going to make me want to punch you in the face. And he's 6'5", so I don't want to punch him in the face. But yeah, it's I just be honest, be kind to people. Like, what in the hell? Like, I don't care what people do. If you're not hurting anybody, physically, I meant, like, just be kind to people.
Be a nice person.
I mean, just be a good human being. It's not that difficult.
It's one of the easiest things to do, actually.
It really, I mean, and my dad would always say, he's like, remember, every day I'd leave, and my dad he's just such a motivator, and he coached baseball, and he'd go, remember, you're trading a day out of your, like, if I was going to play your dad's event, whatever, and I go, waking up, I might tell him I'm tired, I got to go in there and play Christmas. He'd go, remember, you're trading a day out of your life today that could make a difference in somebody else's. Be kind to them. Like, you never know what they're going through.
Perspective, yeah.
And so it's just always the way I've done my thing. And being that way gets your heart hurt a lot when you try to big and give and give and give. But I'm 54 now. My dad's 88. He hadn't changed, so I don't guess I am.
My last question before we wrap up is, we do this concept on the podcast where we talk about burning the dish. And it's basically times where you may have made a mistake or something but learned a lesson from it.
Absolutely.
So for you, were there any times in your career that you burned the dish?
Or anything that stands out top of mind for you?
Not necessarily. I meant maybe more in my personal life.
Okay.
Probably than in the music. I meant you have to have some compassion, and you have to be able to forgive people. I try not. I mean, I don't. I like seeing people do good. I like seeing people win. I'm like, would I like to have the #1 song in the country? Sure, I would. But I'm tickled to death for George. I'm not mad at him. I mean, and I know some songwriters in Nashville, honestly, that'll be mad about so and so. Why did he get that cut? Why didn't I got something that's like, oh man, you can look at it that way. You can, or you can go, I'm happy that my friend George got a #1 and we write songs together. So maybe we write another song that he cuts and it's a #1. Like, why would I be? I
think you miss out on opportunities that way too, by being jealous and mean.
I'm kind of like Joe Dirt, life's a garden, just dig it. Like, be nice to people, be kind to people.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you don't know what they're going through. Just take a second, and there's time. I don't get it. Like, I could see people like that grew up in that era of golf, like, freak out when they see your dad. I don't freak out when I see your dad, because I've seen your dad naked. We're in locker rooms together. Like, but you have to realize that for somebody else, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh my God, that's Christmas. And so I don't ever take that for granted. If I'm sitting at Waffle House eating a patty melt and I got hash browns, scattered, smothered, and covered, and sweet tea, and you want to take a picture, I'll take a picture with you.
Yeah.
I ain't nobody.
Yeah.
I'm just this dude. Like,
it'll make their day.
I do this for a living.
Yeah, you let two young cats come on your tour bus to just interview and have some fun.
That's what makes life exciting, is finding those new experiences and new adventures, and and again, that's relationships, friendships. This is to me what life is all about. If you want to get down to the nuts and bolts of me, it's relationships. That's what I thrive off of.
Right. I mean, look, the story you told us about the PBR, the bull riding, like your relationship with that person.
He didn't have to make that song.
No, he didn't. But you guys had a good relationship.
I mean, it's about a relationship.
Right.
And when you have those relationships, people will help you and they'll do things for you. And I mean, again, I've been dealing with this autoimmune disease and stuff I got going on. Tired, need rest. But your dad is my good friend.
Mm-hmm.
When your good friend calls and says, "Hey, man, would you mind doing, no pressure, would you mind doing this? And it's my daughter." Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
much
what
love
you do.
for that.
And I get frustrated when I see artists not reciprocate that sometimes, or not even a younger artist go, "Hey, man, watch this kind of." I've been doing it a long time. I can show you where the potholes and the snakes and the shark. I mean, like, this business is tough.
Yeah.
It's a rough bit. I mean, like, I don't know that I want my kid in this business.
Yeah.
I hear that.
But like, I just like helping people. I like seeing people do good. I mean, it's just who I am.
It's a good life to look back on. And my last question for you before we wrap up, obviously with your very unique style of country music and your influence of hip hop and rap, and that's, something you love to do. I was speaking to some of my buddies, I'm interviewing Colt Ford, and he's like, "Isn't that the motherfucker that did a song with Kevin Gates?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's him, dude."
Motherfucker.
So you gotta.
And that's
like,
again,
how do you two pair up?
I love that your buddy's like, "Didn't he do a song with Kevin Gates?"
Yeah.
Like, he's saying that like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
that's dope.
But it is
no country music.
What I love.
I mean, no country music star is intertwining hip hop.
Well, there's some that are doing it now, but if you want to hear where if I might get pissy or a little jealous, it's like somebody else will do it, and they're like, "Oh, look what Morgan did." I'm like, I did that shit 5 years ago.
It all
Stop
stemmed from
saying
you.
that. I've been doing that.
Exactly. But so how do you and Kevin Gates do a song together? I'm just a fan of Kevin.
Love
it.
And just reached out to him, and we hit it. He hit me back straight. Kevin is a very unique individual.
He's incredibly unique.
And I've done lots of stuff in rap and hip hop, so I've been around big time stars and that were. He's not like any of them dudes to me. Like, he's very different, and he's very cerebral. He doesn't say stuff that he hasn't thought about. Or like he's one of those guys.
Very selective with his
Jamie
words.
Johnson is like that too, and I'm around Jamie, even though he's one of my best friends. I'm around him a lot. I'm constantly listening to what he is saying, because very seldom is he saying something that he hasn't thought out.
They're intentional.
And has told me some of the most profound things in the music business. And Toby Keith, same way. Kevin's his own guy. Like he's his own dude. When I got the verse back from him.
So you reached out to him and said, "Hey, let's do a song together." He was like,
said,
"Sure, let's do it."
My buddy Jermain Dupri is going to produce it. And
Jermain Dupri, legend.
Of course, he's like, everybody's wanted to work with Jermain, and Jermain and I worked together since Crisscross days, so way back in the day. And it was cool for us to reconnect and make music together again, because we hadn't made music together since in 30 years.
That's awesome.
And so that was cool. But when I got the verse back from Kevin, if you listen to the verse, I'm like, he goes, I said, "Dude, he grew up, he's from New Orleans, so he lives on a farm in Mississippi. Like, everything he's talking about in that song, in that verse, that's what camels, alpacas, raising
He's
rabbits,
got all that shit out there.
Blueberry farm,
Yeah.
4-wheeler, shooting his bow.
Oh my
100% who he is, by himself, out there doing his thing by himself. It's interesting, and so it was really cool to do that song.
And that music video is also great.
Oddly, we had to find a time. We shot it down in Mississippi. We were both on tour at the time. It's like, we got one day, this X number of hours, if we can do it at this dirt track. It's down there where he lives. So here we are at this redneck, rural ass dirt track,
right,
racetrack, and Kev pulls up, just him in a white Lamborghini SUV.
Him.
He just got murdered white. It was so, and just cool as a polar bear's toenails.
Love that.
And the car he's riding in the video,
Yeah.
that's his homeboy's car that he's friends with down there.
That he's known probably since
that
fucking high
that
school or
he's
some
known
shit.
him, and he's
That
like,
is
I got
awesome.
my boy bringing his car. I mean, and it was just awesome. Kevin's super humble and super kind. He's a very energy-driven guy. You know, like
it's a great collaboration.
And that's just me. Like I've been lucky because I can walk in a lot of different circles.
You can.
From the golf and the music and country to the hip hop. Like I'm always like other artists. I've seen multiple interviews with big artists. They'll go, well, so and so. If you had to get so and so, they're like, I'd probably call Colt. I bet he knows him. If he don't know him, he knows who does know him. I like that. I like people.
You like people?
Yeah, I mean, I like people. I like hearing their stories and meet and greets. I like hearing what the song meant to you. Some of my buddies, I'm like, dude, calm down. Do the meet and greets. Like, this is why you're here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, and some of them, I'm like, you're not. I know you a little bit. Like, you're not like a road scholar or anything. I don't think you're going to be the CEO of shit.
Yeah.
So why not be nice and humble?
These are the people that are buying your records.
These people let you fly around on private jets and
Right.
stuff like that. Like, so I don't know. That's the way I go about it. But
Love
to
that.
me, at the end of the day, I'm just a relationship guy. I like personalities. I like to hear people's stories and see what they do and what they like, and just you can find common ground with anybody.
Yeah, you can.
It's so amazing to me that people they're trying to make everything so divided, and I'm like, it's really not. It's not. Like, and most of the guys I know, black, white, whatever, like, they don't think that way.
Yeah.
The way the media portrays it, it's just not true. But that's not what we hear. You know, that's just not what we hear. You can find common ground, man. Just you got to want to.
Yeah.
You have to want to.
And I think most people know that. I just think the loud ones don't.
Well, now, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
And the problem is the majority of what's being proposed is so one-sided. It's like, I'll be glad to listen to another form of thought. Explain it to me.
Yeah.
I'll listen.
With kindness and love.
But yelling in my face and just telling me, I'm like, no, that's not okay. But I also like the politic thing. Like I don't really do. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
I play music.
Yeah.
I don't like any artist, actor, actress that wants to get up there and on their little soapbox
Has another agenda
about what they think. It's like,
stay in your lane.
Shut up, Johnny Depp. Nobody give a fuck what you think. I mean, why don't you go put on another bracelet or something? Or like, you're a fantastic actor, and you're fantastic, but dude, stop. Like, stop talking about shit like that you don't know about.
Yeah.
Period. Get your accolades for what you're doing. Meryl Streep, when they got up there, sounds like, look, you're one of the greatest actresses of all time. Don't give me your personal agenda. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm here to celebrate your work.
Yeah.
You want to have that kind of conversation, we can have that kind of conversation. Not up on stage for your work. That's that's not what got you here. Be up there and be humble and kind and say thank you for letting me do all these movies and be here and for y'all celebrating me for what I am as an artist.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to go come over to my house afterwards and let's sit down and talk about
politics and
worldviews.
Or
you want to be a politician, then go be one.
Yeah.
I don't care. Go do that.
It has to be an invited conversation, right?
Yeah, no. So I just try to find some kind of common ground with people. I mean, I talk too much probably, but I'll get in a cab with somebody and start talking to dude.
Love that.
Playing people. I mean, I was just like, God, why you always talk to people on plane? I'm like, I've made so many business deals on planes.
Yeah, right.
And things that I've made happen because I just took the time.
Hey, what are you doing? Where are you going?
My clothing line, the Dirt Road apparel clothing line, is just coming out now. Just getting out there. Going to be in. I met the dude on a plane.
Love.
On a plane. I was tired as shit.
So
It
just
was a
talk
late
to people.
flight.
Be
He
nice.
was tired, and I just heard him talking about something. And we just talked a little bit, and
That's awesome.
And then you weren't so
Ever since.
tired anymore, huh?
no, I've been friends ever since. And I love that kind of stuff. It's cool.
That's
Yeah,
great.
That's the beauty of life.
Okay, before wrapping up, we always love to ask our guests, because it is what's the recipe. Could you share a physical, like actual recipe with us, whether it's like something that you have grown up with, like a home cooked meal that you've grown up with?
So, I do a few things really good.
Okay.
But my fiance Megan, she's in phenomenal shape and all. She doesn't eat a lot of the shit that I eat for being on the road. But one thing that she loves, I make like my own homemade hamburger helper.
Oh, okay.
And like it doesn't matter if I've been on the road for 3 weeks. When she's like, I got the ingredients here. When you get home, I'm gonna need you to hook that up. I mean, like,
Oh, so she likes it.
no,
She
that's
eats
one
it.
of the things she absolutely likes. She loves that. And my kids usually just call it macaroni and meat. I
Yeah.
just got in there and kind of hodgepodge my way through something until I found I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
It's even better the next day. And so
It's always better the next day.
I'm actually really interested in learning to be a better cook when I slow down from.
Yeah.
I just don't have time.
It's an art. It's an art in its own.
fun.
He can teach you. He's in culinary school right now.
Oh, really? Good
Yeah.
for you. There's
Yeah.
nowhere to cook on the books. It's fast
Yeah.
food like a mother. I
Yeah.
like, that's
Next
what
time
it
you're
is.
in Denver, we'll have you over for dinner. I'll make you something nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I love my favorite meal. Probably if I was in prison though, my mom would fix cube steak, homemade rice and gravy, green bean casserole, macaroni and cheese.
Ooh,
Boom.
that's a lineup right
That's
there.
a southern meal if I've ever heard
I
one.
mean,
Yeah.
that'll give you the itis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got to go sit down after you eat that.
Right.
Yeah. My mama's rice and gravy make a puppy pull a freight train.
That's
Oh
a
my
good
gosh.
one.
Okay, well, Colt, this has been amazing. Honestly, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. I'm glad you got to wear your hat.
I
You got your
know.
hat.
I'm gonna rock it tonight at the
You
concert.
should.
Where can people find you on social media, and also what's coming out for you? What's new?
Music. I mean, everywhere that there's music sold, I'm there. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. On Instagram and TikTok, I'll try to answer the messages myself. I don't answer them on Facebook. There's like 3 million people. I've never even had my own Facebook page.
Yeah.
My own personal page. I've never had one. So out there, everywhere, just started my 10th album. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be super country, and a lot more outside songs. Honestly, I'm hardly writing anything on this record. I just wanted to do something different, and there's so many great songwriters.
Love that.
I wanted to celebrate them, and the thing that'll come out probably first here though is the art Yellow Wolf. If you know who Yellow Wolf is,
Yeah.
one of the most creative guys I've ever met in my life, and people have been asking us to do a song together for a long time, and we just. Yellow's a real artist. Like he's cerebral about everything.
I mean, he does so many different things.
Yeah, and he's a comedian. We're both kind of like that. Like we can do a rock song, we can do a country song. Like I redid "In the End" by Linkin Park and put that out. That's a lot of fun. But him and I have a song together called "Shades" that's coming out probably here in the next 30-40 days. That is an absolute monster.
Well, we can't wait to put it on.
It's not a country song. This is a straight hip hop song.
Love.
And it is an absolute monster.
Ooh,
I'm
I'm,
so
excited
excited
for that.
about that,
Okay.
so.
And a clothing line coming out?
Clothing line, Dirt Road Apparel clothing line. It'll be
Oh.
in all the your hopefully in like the Bass Pro Shops, kind of the farm, all the farm stores and all those kind of places. It's kind of there's so much stuff that's not made for a country kid to be proud of. Even
Right.
the brands that have traditionally been way more country have started going a little bit
Streetwear.
different directions. Yeah, and it's like, for those kids living, it's like, oh, well, I want something that's mine.
Right.
Yeah.
It's mine. Everybody loves that. So, Dirt Road Apparel is just that. I mean, the theme of the thing is windows down, music up. And it's just, it's a lot of
Love that.
It's a lot of cool T-shirts and then cool flannels, stuff like what you got
Right.
on Carhartt right there. The wax jackets like Rip wears on Yellowstone, a lot of stuff like that.
Oh, I love.
It's gonna be really cool.
That's awesome.
So much
cool.
exciting things to look forward to. Well, thank you so much.
Also, Commissario Tequila, that's getting ready to go public. I'm involved with
Is
that
that
too.
is that your tequila
I'm involved
brand?
with that company. It's the only tequila. in the
Do you
world.
have it?
I got some on here. Probably there's some on here.
Can I
It's the
try
only
it?
tequila in the world that's ever won double gold medals in all 3 brands. Like
I need to try it.
Yeah, I'll make sure to. We'll hook you up.
Well, Colt, when we conclude all of our episodes, so in the restaurant industry, when you run out of something, it's 86th,
Oh yeah.
right? So if you could look at the camera and say that this episode is officially 86, that'd be a great way to end it.
Hey guys, I'm Colt Ford, and this official episode is 86.
Woo!
Boom!
Don't